From pellets in there. Otherwise, right, if they're wily fish, it's got to land like this, right? I am now going to give you a trick. Do you know on those days when it's really heavy, there's not a lot of wind to help you, and you can't get your flies to turn over? Some people will tell you, if you want to turn your flies over, when the line is shooting out there, stop the line running through this ring. Don't do that, please, because you'll end up with a massive ball of fluorocarbon or nylon with 3 flies having a meeting on the end of your line. But don't do that. Some people will tell you, slow the line down coming off the floor. Don't do that either. Right? Here's the trick. You know when you go fishing, what have you got in front of you? Oh my God. Thank you, sir. Listen, those of you that are beginners, right? The most important ingredient in fly fishing is not the rod, it's not the reel, it's not the line, it's not even the fly at the end of it. When you start fly fishing, make sure there's water in front of you. Right? That is the most important ingredient. And what you're going to do with this water, you're going to utilize the water to help you present your fly. And it's simple and easy. As soon as you start to see the energy dissipating from the line, take the tip of the rod and stick it in the water. And the line running through the tip ring and the tension of the water will decelerate your loop. It will turn your cast over. So what we do is, we shoot it out. We put it in the water. And you see it land straight, it lands gently. Yes, it's landed 2 or 3 yards closer to me, but presentable. Now, talking about presentation, I am now going to show you a few more casts. I'm running out of time, but I'm going to show you a couple more casts. If you use these casts next time you're fishing, I guarantee you 100% you're going to catch more fish. Now I've got your attention. Now then, the first one is this. Just imagine, it's a balmy August evening. So it could be, in the UK current climate, it could be snowing. But just imagine, it's warm. There's a few flies landing. There's fish rising. You see a fish rise, right? But you're there, right? Nothing's happening at the moment. You put a perfect cast out there, and then suddenly a fish rises over there. 3 or 4 yards of where you've just put a perfect cast out. The first thing that happens to every fisherman is blind, sheer panic. The second thing that goes through their mind is that they've got to get that line from there to there at about 100 miles an hour. It looks something like this, okay? Here we go. Right, we'll get that back, right? As soon as this fly lands, that fish is going to rise, and then you're going to panic. It goes, oh my God, lift! And you go like that. Now you saw the disturbance on that water? You've now scared the fish to the other side of the reservoir. What we have to do is a very simple cast called a snake lift. And what that does, it allows you to lift a lot of line off the water without disturbing it. Now watch the rod. Now the great thing with this, right, if you go out and try it next time you go fishing, and you forget which way I did the circle, it doesn't matter, right? We can take the circle from the right to the left. We can go from the left to the right. It's just pulling the line in. Now, if you go out fishing and you try this and you catch behind you, 3 yards behind you, it's your fault, not mine. But you're going to blame me. So I'm actually going to explain to you exactly how to execute this cast to prevent you calling me every name under the sun. Watch the left hand and not the right hand. Watch. Do the circle, but the left hand is the important hand. Watch. Circle. Haul. If you pull down with your left hand, it introduces the bend in the spring, which propels the line in the air behind you. If you do not haul, it will actually catch the grass behind you, okay? So, that's one. So now, snake lift. Just imagine, right? It's that balmy August evening. You can snake lift. You see a fish rise, so it's snake lift. Covering. As soon as the fly lands, every angler's heart starts to beat faster. And you wait with great anticipation, but nothing happens. You see another fish rise, snake lift, and cover that one. At this point, you start talking to the fish. Come on, come on, come on, take it. Nothing happens. Snake lift and cover the third fish. At this point, you start calling the fish rude names because they're not taking your fly. Then suddenly the grey matter says, "Oi, stupid, you've covered 3 fish. You must have the wrong fly on. Change your fly." Okay, let's change it. Finally catch the line. You get the fly, you pull it off. You put it in that patch in your waistcoat to dry out. You get the box out and you choose the one fly no fish is going to refuse. You start to tie the fly on. Then the brain says, what's happening on the lake? You look up and there'll be 6 or 7 fish feeding there. Oh my God, fly fish, fly fish. Finally you tie it on. Foscas. Back out. Every angler knows, as soon as right, the fish stop feeding. Because they know you're back. They know that. Let me now show you a cast that will catch those fish off guard. Right? Next time you want to change your fly, don't pull the line in. Lift, kick it down. There's the line there. The beauty with the line is all still outside the tip. We can change our fly, kick it back, let it go, push it forward. It's called the catch cast. Now again, I'll show you and explain to you how to do this properly. Because I have seen people, I am going to do the catch cast. Here we go. And I've seen them do it for half an hour. The reason is they're keeping the rod in the same place. No. Total change. Watch. Rod end out. Tip in. Where you put the tip, the line's got to go. Lift. Push it down. There it is there. Now if you're scared of catching the line, because there's flies at the end of it. So what we have got in the right hand, we've got a 9.5 foot catching tool. Watch. There. Catch it. Let it slide down into your hand. Do it there. Now, I told you I'd explain why if you use the catch cast, right, why you catch a few fish off guard. Listen, every fish when they're swimming around, when the fish know that you're changing a fly, they know they have a window of opportunity, about 2 minutes to feed safely before you're back. If you use the catch cast, you're back within 1 minute 30 seconds. If you lot believe that, you'll believe anything. Anyway, I'm going to finish off, right, the last cast, because I'm running well over time, right? A few years ago, I went to the World Championships, oh no, more than a few years ago now, went to the World Championships in France. Has anybody fished in France? Honestly, one of the most challenging places I've ever fished, right? It is unbelievable. Honestly, there was one stream that we slightly wider than this. If I did this, we're not allowed to go in the pool, right? But if I did that disturbance, 15, 20 yards up the river, the fish are gone. They're that spooky. So we had to come up with a solution of how to catch the fish. So the solution I came up with, right? Actually, it was a shorter river than that, so it was the tip section. So what we did was, right, down the bank, through the trees, use your hand, come on, hold tight, right, grab a branch, lead as far over the river as possible. You haven't touched the water, right, so you can actually fish for those fish. But on one section, I had to fish this way. Now, fishing this way, I couldn't cast this, I couldn't hold on the branch and this, that, and the other. So in that situation, I had to actually put the rod in my left hand and fish that way, right? The problem is, right, I'm a right-handed fisherman. And when I started fly fishing, I was knee-high to a grasshopper. I started when I was 2.5, there's actually a picture on my website of me at 18 months, right, with my first in the back garden. There was an old woman actually born in the hospital, and she turned around to my old man, she said, "Mock, I'll give him a fly reel now, it makes the same noise as a rattle anyway." So I had no choice, I was going to be a fisherman. So, but because I've years and years and years, I've passed with this hand. So when I cast, my brain switches off. Most people say my brain never switches on, but it switches off because this is automatic. The problem is because this doesn't know what that does. This thing can't tell this thing. So how do you teach on the casting hand, right? Basic timing of what this does automatically. Simple and easy. Get 2 rods. Make them a similar length, make them a similar weight. Why? Because they just react the same, so it's easier. So same amount of line. So, here we go. Right is automatic. Hasn't got a clue. So how am I going to teach this thing? Right, first thing you do, right? Switch this off. Don't think about anything. Then, this is also a great way to show if your tracking is straight. By going back and forth in a straight line. If your tracking is wrong, it's going to be the most expensive lesson in your life as these two carbon poles meet at the top. But what we do is this. We lift. We accelerate, we pause, or we push. And that's the simplest way to teach. Now, those of you guys that suffer from tennis elbow, practice this now before you wreck your elbow. So at the start of the season, you fish right-handed, your right hand starting to actually be a bit tired, then you can actually fish with your left hand and give your right hand a break. If you want, if you want to test that both hands are automatic, then this is what you have to do. You have to do them in opposite direction. And if you think about your left, your right could fall apart. Ladies and gentlemen, I've run out of time. Thank you very, very much for watching and enjoy the rest of the show.